Tonight on Red Eye.
Coming up on Red Eye, will baby goats ever grasp the reflective properties of light? We've got the heartbreakingly adorable footage you won't see anywhere else. Plus, what would the first family say if Joe Biden beat a preschooler in a game of Scrabble?
He'd say, what's your secret, Joe? Because if I won, there had to be a secret. There had to be something special.
And finally, slow cookers. Why do they take so long to heat up our food? Are they super lazy, or do they just not give a damn? Our full report is just 8 short hours away. None of these stories on Red Eye tonight.
I'm Tom Shillue in for Greg Gutfeld, who's back tomorrow. And now, let's welcome our guests. Her wit is quicker than quicksand, and like quicksand, it sucks you in until you cannot breathe. I'm here tonight with National Review reporter Katherine Timpf. She calls NYC her home now, but when she leaves, will this former Miss New York miss her former New York? It's Joanne Nosachinski. He's whip smart, and like a whip, his whip smart wit smarts. It's TV's Andy Levy. And he was just on The Good Wife. I know because I watched The Good Wife. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a fantastic show. It's actor and comedian Tom Cotter.
A-Block, the lead. That's the first story.
They're picketing the ticketing. Self-styled Robin Hooders are walking off the streets of Keene, New Hampshire, filling expired parking meters and bugging parking attendants because they don't like paying tickets. They claim that meters steal from citizens to generate revenue for the city. Here's one guy explaining why he got involved.
I racked up a bunch of parking tickets that led to my car being towed, blah, blah, blah. The only way to get my car back was basically to pay the $185 that they say I owe. My only way of getting this back is to go Robin Hooding, and that's where you go around and you save other people from getting parking tickets.
Yeah, I already explained what Robin Hooding is. Thanks. But is their FU to the city legal? New Hampshire Supreme Court is looking at whether the Robin Hooders are within their First Amendment rights. And the parking attendants claim their behavior is harassment, and it keeps them from doing their jobs. Let's see them in action.
So this meter lady behind me, I don't know if you can see her, but she's the one we're going to be following today. We are on the hunt. Rapture is going after her. Seeking justice. Parking justice.
Thrilling. Can we see that again in slow-mo? Inspiring. Katherine, there's two sides to every story. Are you on the side of the passionate young people or the greedy old bureaucrats?
I think this is like a battle of losers here, really, because there's the people like, oh, you know, I'm changing the world by putting money in the meters. And there's people like, oh, well, I'm going to change the world by fining people with money. I don't know. There's people like,
do they really think they're changing the world?
They clearly do. Did you see them? They're
well,
losers.
The meter people.
They all played Yu-Gi-Oh cards in high school.
What's that?
I only know because I dated a guy who played Yu-Gi-Oh cards in high school because I didn't think I could
good. It
get
doesn't say
anyone
anything
else to
about
love me.
you.
I was worried no one else would love me.
So you think you side with neither of them?
I side with neither of them. I think that, well, I mean, I'm anti-government, so I obviously side with the people who are stopping the government from stealing. But, I mean, did you see them? They're losers. So.
Boy, Tom.
Yes.
You like to fight, I know, because you're wearing that jacket. Do you applaud their protests?
I don't. I side with law enforcement on this.
You're a law and order guy.
I used to be a cop back in the day, and I hated not law enforcement, but parking enforcement, because that was the worst thing you could do. And we used to chalk the tires. You'd put chalk on the tires, and then you'd know how long the car had been there. And some jerk would come along and wipe the chalk off.
Aha, that's perfect.
And nice. They were Robin Hooding, I guess, at the time, and that would annoy the hell out of me. You're being an accessory to a crime. I'm supposed to enforce the law. You're not letting me enforce the law.
No, but they aren't being an accessory to the crime.
They're preventing crime.
They're preventing crime. Wait a minute, Andy, how are they preventing crime?
By putting coins in the meters.
Because if you're parked there with the meter expired, you're committing a crime. If by them putting coins in the meters before the time expires, they are preventing you from committing a crime. They are crime prevention.
What about Tom's thing with the erasing the chalk marks? Is that preventing anything?
Would that be obstruction of justice?
No, that's probably more along the lines of,
aiding and abetting.
Aiding and abetting.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, Andy. How are these people, if you live in Keene, New Hampshire, and you're used to people saving you, by putting coins in your parking place, you're never going to come out and move your car. It is going to lead to traffic congestion. The law says that maybe this is interfering with traffic.
Whose side are you on here, Tom?
I'm wondering, I'm playing a host, Andy. I like to see all sides.
Well, I sort of agree with Catherine. Both sides are wrong here. The first guy says, I racked up $185 in parking tickets, and the only thing I could do is pay the money they say I owe. They don't say you owe it. You owe it.
He does owe the money.
What did he do? Leave his car there for a week?
Yeah. But on the other hand, the city is, in their lawsuit, they're claiming that the meter maids, can I say meter maids?
Meter maids, yeah. Okay. I mean, it's sexist, but you can say it.
All right. Perhaps they're meter matrons. I don't know.
Yes.
The city is claiming that the meter matrons or maids are being harassed, but they haven't filed harassment charges. So one might think that their claims are bogus if one were inclined to think that the government would ever make false claims. I am not one of those people, but I've heard tell of people who think that the government sometimes makes false claims. So this might be one here.
Joanne, I think they are being harassed. You saw the videos they're making.
No. We have video evidence. The proof is in the pudding, okay? I saw no harassment there. For all we know, these meter maids are like celebrities. What's worse, paparazzi or these Robin Hooders? You know what I'm saying? They're saying the same sorts of things, trying to get the same kind of attention, and I would much rather these teens/adult men, because they looked a little old, do this than like huff paint.
Oh, okay, so that's...
Those are, by the way, the only two options.
That's the only thing you can do.
What else are you going to do?
Please keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Oh, shame on you.
I'm sorry,
Shame on you.
I've never been there. I'm sure you're
don't be
lovely.
sorry.
This is the second time. Second time in 2 weeks we've done Keene. This is where they had those riots last week. They had the pumpkin riots.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
They need
There's a lot going on in Keene, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what do you... you're a cop.
I'm against it.
So you get the final word.
I really believe that.
I believe in the First Amendment of the Constitution, and they are within their rights.
How are you aiding and abetting by putting money in a parking meter?
You're allowing people to skirt the law because they were negligent. They didn't put the money in the meter. You're doing it. You're the coin fairy.
Nowhere on the meter does it say the person who parks the car has to put the money in. There's no law being broken here.
Come on, now you're nitpicking. You're
I'm
picking
not.
nits.
You're
They could be their friend, and they were instructed, "Hey, can you put the 50 more cents?"
Do you think they were friends of any of those people?
Hold on a second, everybody. I think it's illegal to feed the meter at all. When there's a 2-hour limit, I think you're supposed to do those 2 hours and you're supposed to get out of there. You're supposed to move the car, not put more coins in.
You would think that.
All right.